Let's talk Wilkes University Wrestling here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Joining us right now is the head coach, John LAUDENSLAGER. Hey, John, getting excited for 2013-14, the beginning of the year for the Colonel Wrestling program. Tell us about your outlook this year.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We have 5 national qualifiers back. The bulk of our team, we have 30 kids returning with experience, and then we have about 24 new kids. So we have big numbers. We're 2 days in right now, so we've got a chance to look at kids for 2 days, and they all got great work ethic. So I think we're in for a good year.
Well, another good year. You like to keep growing this program, and it just seems like it does each and every year. Talk about where you were last year at one point as far as national ranking and what you were able to do as far as sending guys, to qualify, and then, where you're looking for this year, and you think it could be even more.
Yeah. Well, last year we started out 0-3, and then we rolled off 19 in a row. We won our last 19 matches. I think we're ranked, 7th in the final dual meet call, and sent 4 guys to nationals, came home with the national runner-up. So it's hard to say how many you can continue to win in a row, but I like our chances. With 5 qualifiers, half our team has been to a national tournament, and a lot of others are pretty close to getting there themselves. So, pretty exciting stuff for us right now.
John LAUDENSLAGER joining us here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Again, Wilkes University Wrestling really put on the map, and John's done a tremendous job. And John, you can't do it alone. You got to do it with some great coaching, and of course, you always got to bring in great kids, and you have both of those going for you. And you have a great guy before you in John Reese, who is your coach.
Yeah. I mean, I just say I'm continuing what he already started. I don't have been many years ago. He coached for 42 years. I've been coaching for 11, and then Coach Zellner for his first 7. So, we've kind of been following his plan that he started, 60 years ago or so. So, I think, but like he had, I have a lot of great assistant coaches as well. Mitch Marks, Brian Wilson, Anthony Cole is around quite one of our national runner-ups, around as much as we can. So we have a lot of guys that, they do more of the mat work than I do usually in the practice room, so I owe a lot of our credit to them.
John, it seemed like, maybe 10 years ago there weren't as many wrestlers, on a roster at the Division III level, but when you look at your roster, you got a lot of wrestlers. Has that changed a whole lot in Division III?
Yeah, I think we're not the biggest roster either. I mean, we have 44 guys on the team, and, I think one thing you see with Division III level is, I know for us, we compete everybody. We'll go to tournaments where we can take 30 guys. We'll go to, I think we wrestle in 6 different tournaments where, we're worried about everybody getting matches and getting that experience. As opposed to Division I, where they're gearing up, where they're all about wins and losses, and we are too, don't get me wrong. We want to win 20 in a row our first match, but I want to make sure that all 40 guys get a chance to compete, and plus it keeps them all working very hard. If you're going to get a chance to get on the mat, there's a good chance you're going to work a lot harder in practice. So, I kind of gear our schedule around getting guys lots of matches. I think our national runner-up was great last year, but his backup, I think, had 33 matches or something like that. So, it's about getting the whole team a great experience.
Well, you mentioned 40-some guys, and it's hard to get all those guys in the wrestling room at one time. So you still go with that split practice?
Yeah, well, Mondays we do a lot of CrossFit kind of stuff, so we split them at 3 and 4:30, which is fine because we have a couple of chem labs and stuff like that to start at 5. So the guys have that kind of stuff start early, and the guys that have no night classes come in at 4:30. The days we do a lot of live, we'll split some practice times up and. Just so we have a little bit more mat space. And we have, 2 full mats. Our facility's great. But with 40 guys, it gets kind of, I guess, stuffy in there, So it's we do 2 days where we kind of split the practice, but we're together 4 days out of the week. We're big on the team, too, so we like to be together as much as we can.
We're talking with John Laudenschlager from Wilkes University. He is the wrestling coach and a tremendous program, obviously, in not only Division III in northeastern Pennsylvania, but they're known, throughout the nation as one of the better teams. They just keep seem to growing up those rankings. And Coach, talk about that schedule this year and who you're going to meet this year on that schedule. That will be tough once again.
Yeah, well, we have every year it seems like we wrestle 10 to 12 teams that are nationally ranked or see them throughout tournaments. So we got a big match coming up, November. I think we wrestle in Elizabethtown. I think they have 5 national qualifiers back, too. Last year was a great 18-15 match. So I'm expecting that'll be a great home match early in November. And then, we have our traditional college and Jersey because, teams that we see year in, year out, they always put a good product on the mat. It's always going to be a great dual meet. So, then we're going out to the national duels this year. Out in Iowa in beginning of January. So we're one of the 16 teams that got invited. I feel we should be going. I think we'll see how we do out there. I think last time we went out, we went 1-2. I think we have a lot of the guys that were on that team that are now seniors. So I think we've improved it quite a bit. And I think I'm not saying we can go out there and win it, but I think I don't know. I know our guys are going to be feeling confident to go out there and put a good showing forward.
Such tradition at Wilkes University in the wrestling program, and like you mentioned, the 4 national qualifiers coming back. But how about some of these freshmen that you're bringing in? Anybody that could turn some heads this year?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we have so many. I think we have a good bunch of freshmen. You might not hear a lot of them this year, though. We have so many kids returning. And some of the guys are going to have a hard time cracking into the lineup. We've 41, we're probably going to see a freshman. I'm not sure. We have several that have a good chance of getting in there because we just don't return anybody there. So, and then at 74, we graduated a kid. We thought there's a transfer that just came in from Merchant Marine Academy who I think is going to be very good. But we have a kid returning there too who's very good. So, I don't know. I don't want to speculate which kids will get into the lineup, but every year it seems like 1 or 2 of these freshmen find their way into the lineup and can work hard enough to make the lineup as a freshman. So I expect the same probably this year.
John, I know you're always hitting the road and you're always recruiting. Every time I talk to you, you're looking at this kid, looking at that kid, and you don't discriminate. You look all over the place, whether it's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or other states. You want to find the best wrestlers and the best fit for Wilkes University as far as academics and athletics. And you always try to bring in some local guys. But the way the program's going with this national ranking, right now you guys, I'm sure, are just you're weeding out, so to speak, the best guys that you could get into the university that will make a difference in that lineup. And, sometimes it may be in the Lehigh Valley or once in a while you get a guy out of the Wyoming Valley Conference.
Yeah. I mean, we do have, honestly, most of our kids probably come from, 3 hours or less. I think, probably an hour to 3 hours. An hour is probably too close for some kids. And 3 hours is too long in a car for some kids. So most of our kids are within 3 hours. But we have a kid from Tennessee. This year we have Jimmy McNally from Scranton coming in, who's it's only 25 minutes up the road, but he's away from Scranton. He's in Wilkes-Barre now, so who we're excited to have. So, like you said, doesn't matter where they're from, as long as we're looking for tough kids who work hard and obviously who the fit's got to be right. The academics has to be there. It's got to be a great fit for them all around because the wrestling is just a small part of what they're going to do for 4/5 years.
John Laudenschlager here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. John, when you start things out in November, talk about some of the tournaments or invitationals that you start out with, and then at the end of the year, when will the part of the season be, and where could you guys possibly head when at the end of the year?
Yeah, well, we start every year. We take 30 guys down to the Kings tournament, which is right in our 2 blocks down. So we make an easy trip down, take 30 guys down. And then, we go to the Stroudsburg tournament early on. We go to Messiah tournament early on. And then we have our Wilkes Open. And then we have we brought back Mid-Atlantic Wrestling this year. It'll be the first time in it seems like 10 years since we've had a conference wrestling tournament. So we're hosting. We're not hosting that, but we're in the middle of January where we can take 2 guys. And then, our final tournament I think this year is Messiah Open where we can take everybody as well. So that's 6 great opportunities where we're taking usually 20 to 35 kids in it. And then, our regional tournament, I actually haven't got the date. Actually, the date or the place was know it's going to be probably January 1st. The location hasn't been announced yet, but our big goal is to get as many guys as we can to Cedar Rapids, in mid-March. So we're looking to hopefully we can build on taking 4 last year and, maybe take 5, 6, 7, as many as we can get there.
Wilkes University Wrestling on the John Mendola Show. John Laudenschlager is our guest. John, I know you have close ties with former coach John Reese. He's a legend, and you talk to him once a week. And then there's wrestlers that are still, the alum that were a big part of a lot of success with Wilkes University that you keep in contact with. And we recently got a chance to talk with them. Tell us what that's like to talk with some of those guys and talk Colonel Wrestling.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I had dinner with those guys the night before we came up, and it's just great to hear that their stories are so much like mine at Wilkes. I think the experience that they went through is the same exact experience that I had here, and I'm quite sure it's the same exact experience our guys are having today. A close bunch of kids who care about each other, want to get great degrees, and they really put their heart into the team. I think we've always been a bit about team and about caring for your teammates, and you can see it when those guys were together at dinner the previous night. It's just how much they enjoy being around each other, which I think Coach said we have. Seems like every 5 years we have a huge reunion, and we get 250 wrestlers back, and that's great to see those guys come back. And I enjoy seeing my teammates. So I think it's just building on the family atmosphere that we've had here for many, many years now. So.
Well, life is precious and life is short. So, taking those phone calls from John Reese every Monday, you guys have that conversation. What's it like to continue that on after all these years to talk with Coach Reese? Yeah,
it's great. I think I know Monday we're going to get that call at 10 usually, and he's just so in tune with what's going on with Wilkes wrestling in general. Whether it was about the Olympics dropping the sport or attempting to drop the sport, whether it's about Big Ten wrestling, Division I. Right now he's like, I already got my flights, my hotel set up for the Division I tournament. I'm going out, and he's 86 years old, and he's still getting out there, watching wrestling, and I'm assuming maybe he uses the internet now. I'm not sure, but he seems like he has inside knowledge that I'm not giving him at times now. So it's great just to hear him, and because I asked him about things too. He coached for 42 years, so there's things I asked him about kids. Coach, what do you think about here, this situation? And he'll always give me a straight answer, and which I appreciate.
Well, John Reese, the legendary coach, we got to talk with him on the John Mendola Show on the Sports Hub 102.3 this past weekend, and great to check in with him and some of the guys that were just great to see that from 25 years ago, Craig Rome and the guys. Really neat situation to sit down and talk with those guys, and they all got together for the weekend. And, of course, now they get to see you and meet you and talk with you once again. As you mentioned, some of these reunions the last 5 or 10 years and still talk Colonel Wrestling. Well, John, it's going to be an exciting year, I'm sure, 2013-14, and in a few months, I think we'll check back with you and see how the season's going, and it'd be tough to eclipse what you guys were able to do last year, 19 in a row, but we hope you have a fantastic year at Wilkes University.
Thanks, John. We're looking forward to it.